It's that Friday. Happy Friday,
It is.
friends.
It's the type of day where I want to do the news outside today.
Right? This is
Love
a
that.
good outside day. And welcome to you. Thank you so much for being here for KARE 11 News at noon. We got a whole lot to talk about. The Timberwolves are just about a little over 24 hours away from their next playoff battle. That's been a big conversation in my household. Also, there's a movement to revive St. Paul's historic Rondo neighborhood. And breaking news from overnight at the Capitol. Michelle, you're covering that.
Yeah, exactly. The House made moves on 2 firearms bills. That's after more than 12 hours of debate. I'll go over what those bills contain.
Ooh, lots to get into, but you even alluded to it. Beautiful weather out there.
Lovely weather. The wind is yet to really pick up yet, but the sunshine is out there and temperatures are well on their way. We're already warmer than basically all of yesterday. Currently 65 degrees. Southwest wind now up to 20 miles per hour, but notice we don't have any humidity to deal with. It is going to be a wonderful afternoon, but if you are doing an outdoor picnic, just keep in mind you might have to have a couple of extra weights to hold down some of the food on the plate. Let's take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Clouds are going to increase later today, and I do expect some shower activity in the central and western part of the state later this afternoon and into the evening hours. But around the Twin Cities, we should stay totally dry. Here's a live look at radar right now. We are totally clear, but notice some clouds started to increase out across far western Minnesota, and you could see some showers starting to develop over South Dakota. That's behind a weak cool front that'll be passing through as we head into tomorrow. Basically, our wet weather is showing up in South Dakota. Tomorrow morning is going to be a little showery. Here's that weekend forecast. Morning showers, but we should dry out Saturday afternoon and seasonably cool in the lower 60s. Sunday is the brighter, better day of the weekend for outdoor activities. Temperatures near 70 degrees, light wind and lots of sunshine. We'll talk about how long that forecast sticks around coming up. Alexis?
Ben, thank you. Now to our top story at noon. We're following a set of gun bills that are now one step closer to being state law following hours of debate overnight. And Michelle, you've been looking at all these changes that these bills can bring. What did you find?
Yeah, Alexis, there's a combo of gun safety bills that passed in the House overnight, and with it heading to the Senate, it's a good day for Governor Tim Walz. In a new statement from the last 3 hours, the governor vowed to sign the legislation as soon as it reaches his desk. Quote, "I applaud the House for passing a trio of common sense bills that would make Minnesota safer by making sure guns do not fall into the wrong hands." So let's break down one of those bills, the Safe Firearms Bill. It means firearms not being used must be kept unloaded with a locking device or stored in a locked gun room/safe. So penalties, they start with a petty misdemeanor. That's for a simple unstored gun violation. But if the unstored gun is used to harm someone, that's up to 5 years in prison. It took the House 11 hours of debate to have representatives vote mostly along party lines, one Democrat joining Republicans in opposition.
My goal with this bill is to reduce the number of Minnesotans killed by guns. Nobody asked me to carry this bill. I'm not getting paid to carry this bill. And I really, truly do not want to take away your guns.
Comes up into my bedroom, and I have to say, wait a minute while I get my trigger lock off and get my gun loaded, or wait a minute while I run to my gun safe and get my loaded gun out so I can protect myself.
And like you just heard there, some Republicans say homeowners should decide how to store firearms in their own homes. I'll have more in 30 minutes when the House passes another big bill, this one increasing the penalty, making straw purchases, Alexis, a felony.
When it comes to bills like this, there's a lot of fine lines to sift through. Thank you so much for breaking that down for us. Well, there's a look at other things that we're watching at the Capitol today. The Senate is expected to vote on a bill tweaking the legislation, the legalization rather, of marijuana law. It's meant to adjust how marijuana businesses move forward. We're also keeping an eye on other potential bills that could come up after hours of debate on gun bills this week. Political reporter John Croman will have the latest tonight. A Hudson teacher is on leave today as she faces charges linked to accusations that she had inappropriate contact with a young student. Audrey Russo has the details from court documents.
We've learned this morning that 24-year-old Madison Bergman is out on a $25,000 signature bond, but she's not exactly walking free. According to court filings, she's been ordered to wear a GPS monitoring device. Here's how this all came to light. Police say Bergman's abuse of the victim was discovered by his parents on Monday. They found text messages between the two where they described kissing, touching, and making out. The students' parents brought those texts to Rivercrest Elementary School administrators on Wednesday. Bergman was questioned that same day, and according to the criminal complaint, when officers asked if she and the victim had exchanged any text messages, Bergman stopped talking and requested a lawyer. She's officially charged with first-degree child sex assault. Police claim the abuse began after a trip Bergman took with the victim's family to Afton Alps this past December. That's where she says she got the victim's phone number. The victim told police he and Bergman talked nearly every day. The judge also ordered Bergman have no contact with anyone under the age of 18. Bergman, who is a St. Paul native, is due back here in St. Croix County for a court appearance on May 30th. Back to you.
Audrey, thank you. And we do have positive update on two Forest Lake High School runners who were hit by a car during track practice on Tuesday. The district told families both boys are expected to fully recover. Now, State Patrol originally reported one of the boys had life-threatening injuries. An 84-year-old driver hit the runners as they were crossing Highway 61 at a crosswalk. Both boys were taken to the hospital. State Patrol is still investigating. In the last 24 hours, the education support professionals of the Minneapolis Teachers Union reached a tentative agreement with the district for a new 2-year contract. It comes less than a week after they voted to authorize a strike. We also have more details on the agreement reached by the teachers chapter of that union. It includes a 4% raise the first year, 5% raise the second year, plus they're eligible for raises more often. The school calendar will also be 5 days shorter in exchange for 10 additional minutes of instruction time each day. And finally, the district agreed to complete a 3-year study on the workload of special education teachers. Both the teachers and support professionals will vote on their tentative agreements next week. 3M employees can expect to see money back from the company after improper paycheck deductions. 3M says it will impact more than 1,600 employees and will cost about $1 million. The company accidentally overpaid these employees, then deducted that amount from other paychecks, which is illegal without employees' permission. As part of the settlement, 3M will pay back employees whatever amount was deducted, and they're implementing new policies. Well, in less than 2 hours, the U of M Medical School will have their commencement ceremony with the promise of no disruptions from student protesters. Now, that's what's outlined in an agreement with the UMN Divest Council and the university. The U also agreed not to take disciplinary action against any students or faculty participating in the encampment. Protesters say that they will return if the school does not meet their demands. University leadership also met with Jewish student leaders yesterday. Students asked the university to help educate everyone on campus about anti-Semitism and other forms of bias, and to condemn hateful language. They say campus leaders are willing to further the conversation, but they did not agree to any concrete, actionable steps.
We were hopeful that they would use that free speech in order to put out a statement condemning the language that's being used on campus, like globalized intifada, glory to the resistance, by all means necessary.
The interim president released a statement saying, in part, quote, "There is more work to do and conversations are still planned with other student groups affected."